Hey, so today I want to talk about something where I'm not exactly talking about the topic at hand exactly. I'm already being confusing, but what I wanted to say is I wanted to talk about family channels, right? However, I I wanted it more to be like a talk about like children on the internet, right? But when you title like if you title a video like children on the internet, people immediately look at you like, "Okay, what are you saying? What are you trying to get at?" And immediately people don't watch the video at all. They just see that title and they think, "Oh, I get it. You're a creep." And it's like, okay, I guess I'll just title it family channels because in a way I do kind of want to talk about family channels. However, I don't want to talk about, like family channels in the way that people already do where they cover like the Ace family or the Prince family and they talk about how Austin McBroom is a fucking weird guy and is kind of scummy, or how whatever the Prince guy's name is dated his, or he met his wife when she was like 16 or something. He was an adult and it was weird. There's a lot of like family channel dramas. However, it does kind of stem into what I about the whole children on the internet thing, because these family channels expose their children to the internet 10 times more than just some random child perusing Twitter and spewing some completely fucking inane stupid shit and probably being in places they shouldn't be. But at the same time, I don't really have a place to tell children where to go on the internet, because when I was a child, I went to places I was definitely not supposed to be. Like I've said numerous times, I watched South Park. I watched violent shows. I watched Family Guy. I watched animes that had people getting cut in half with blood spewing everywhere. I watched anime with a shitload of tits and ass in it. Hell, I still watched that. My point being is when I was a kid, I was on weird places on the internet. I watched like content on the internet that was probably not meant for kids. I watched YouTubers who swore out the ass. I've seen people, hell, I had a MySpace. I saw people who swore on MySpace, had like I've seen Facebook things with lewd images and disgusting, adult rated shit. I've seen a lot of shit, right, on the internet. And a lot of it was when I was a kid, when I was just underage kid. And was that good for me? Fuck no. Do I care? A little bit, because I mean, it kind of explains why I'm vulgar, am very open about my own stupidity and perversion, and why no one loves me. Anyway, my point being, what I'm trying to get at with this is that no matter what, children are going to be on the internet, right? Everyone's going to be on the internet. Old, young, doesn't matter. Everyone's going to be on the internet. And when it comes to family channels in particular, they heavily expose their own children to the internet, but not just a simplistic way of a child goes on Twitter. It's more of their child as a baby is like born in front of an audience and is grown in front of an audience and eventually reaches an age where the parents start making them their own like Instagram and Twitter accounts, and it's like they're like 5 years old and you're going to give them their own like accounts. Like, who the fuck do you think is going to follow them on social media? You think that like yes, there will be people, there will be people who maybe follow the kids because they're invested in this family, and maybe they're like they have like maternal or paternal senses. Maybe they had children and their children have left or are dead or something. Well, Jesus Christ, maybe their children are just fucking dead. Like, I just kind of said that very lax. But like, there are people who do watch family channels for, maternal, paternal reasons. Maybe, like I said, like their children are gone, maybe in some sad way, maybe in some grown up and moved out. Maybe there's people who can't have children, or maybe they're just alone and they just want to feel like they're part of a family. They want to watch that, right? And at the end of the day, that shit's wholesome, right? Like, it's weird and it's a bit sad. And I feel bad for those people. However, when a child becomes popular on the internet and then they get like plastered everywhere from Instagram to Twitter, because it's with the family channels, it's usually Instagram, and it's a little fucking weird. Hell, people make fucking Twitter profiles for their pets. And some people make it for their literal newborn children, where they just post like a picture of their newborn child. And the weird thing about this is a lot of the time the people that follow that are probably not going to be very good people. Now, I can't be that guy who just points fingers and says, "Hey, that's not a way to raise a child. You can't do that." Like, cuz at the end of the day, it's not. It's very clearly not. A child should not grow up on the internet. They just shouldn't. But like, I hate sounding like that old man because there are people who are just going to think like, "Oh man, who cares? Times are changing. Get with the program." And it's like, I don't want to get with the program. Because children go to like these weird places, they get embroiled in crazy shit. Why do you think there's so many fucking predators on the internet? Because it's a fucking gold mine for them. There is like every fucking step they take a step on some fucking 10-year-old who doesn't know better. They go on and they see like fucking Timmy Two Toes over there and they think, little Timmy, right? Yeah, I heard you're a big fan of mine. So, what do you say? Would you like to hop in a private Discord chat with me? Golden Toenail. I don't know many YouTuber names. I could just said Mini Ladder EDP. I could just use them as an example. Whatever. I don't know. My point being is it's a bit weird, and because they're like super like well known, and not to mention these family channels like borderline dox themselves, like it kind of opens themselves up to be robbed and all that kind of shit. I said I wasn't going to talk about like family channels exactly, and more talk about like children on the internet. And a lot of people complain about like these iPad parenting, you know what I mean, where they give a phone or an iPad to their child. I've met a ton of people that do that. And at the end of the day, it is kind of hard to stave off your child from wanting the newest technology because when they go to school, they're just going to like see all the other kids like playing on their iPhone and Androids, and then they're going to fight about which is better, and then that one kid's going to have like a fucking that Chinese phone that explodes when you mention Tiananmen Square. And I don't know. My point being is like kids want the newest things, right? They want toys when they're tiny babies, but then once they get like a certain age, they want like a phone. They want a phone that has access, unlimited access to the internet. They want to chat with their friends. They want to go on Twitter and see some funny posts. They want to watch the YouTubes. They want to go to shady websites that infect their phone. They want to do it all, right? And like you can't really blame a kid, right? Because like the internet is such like a fucking cool place, and there's so much crazy shit that like once you just hear about it, you're just like, damn, I gotta go there. I gotta see what's going on. I gotta see what all the crazy shit is. But at the end of the day, a lot of the time kids don't have any fucking idea. They don't know that danger lurks on the internet. Hell, they don't even know danger that fucking lurks in anywhere. A kid barely like has object permanence. You don't get object permanence until you're like fucking 14 or something. Or maybe that was just me because I'm a fucking moron. But my point being is this parenting of just plopping a fucking cellular device or a tech or an electronic device in front of your kid makes me sound old when I talk about this, but at the end of the day, I think it's a bit stupid. Like, it's one thing if, like, for example, it's one thing if you own your own phone or iPad and maybe, like, you're on a car ride or maybe your kid just wants to watch a show, right? Like, so you just put like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse on or any of that kind of shit. That shit's fine, right? Like that, like you shouldn't just nonstop do that with your child. You need to have some form of interaction. I talk as if I know anything, like as if I'm a father or will ever be a father. Yeah, right. Not because, well, I mean, half because of choice that I don't want to, and then half because I am just woman repellent. My point being, sidetrack, sad boy hours type shit. My point being is like it's okay to like if your kid wants to watch like a kid show like Mickey Mouse or Scooby Doo or something like that, that's fine. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like if like if like you're in a car, like I said, in a long car ride, and they're like, "Can I watch Scooby Doo?" And then you hand it to them, and you're like, "Okay, but don't watch Velma, or swear to God I'll disown you." And then you just move on, right? Like that's fine. But I personally don't think the children should have like any kind of cellular device, cellular. And I know that makes me sound old, but I'm actually not. like I said, I'm like the last year of a Gen Z technically. I'm like the first year Gen Z, right? So I'm like there. I am Gen Z technically. I don't feel like it, but I technically am. But I just personally think that like this shit just shouldn't happen, right? Like I think like I don't know what a good age is, right? Like I'm not going to pretend like I know what a good age is because you see kids of all age. Hell, fucking 7 like 14 to 17, you'd think like okay, they might be good enough with a phone, but those people still get taken advantage of by like creeps on the internet. So at the end of the day, it's like, okay, do you wait till they're 18? And while it's like maybe, but like at the same time, like you can't like stop progress. You can't stop progress of humanity. There is a time and a place for phones, for entertainment based around the internet, right? Maybe, and I know like people are gonna be like, oh yeah, well there's people who live without the internet because they just don't care. And it's like, I don't give a shit about those people. At the end of the day, humanity has like progressed to the point where technology is just everywhere and it's everything. You can try and like stop people from doing it, but it's not going to stop them because that kid that you're not giving technology to is eventually just going to go to a friend's house and be like, "Hey, can I use your computer? Hey, can I use your phone? Hey, can I do this? Hey, can I do that?" And they're going to like still get on it. Like they're going to get on it eventually, which I feel like there's probably an appropriate age, but it's also about just like being a good parent and like knowing what you're not supposed to like invade your child's privacy at all times, but you're supposed to like know, and you're supposed to like have some form of like, hey, just checking up on you, just want to make sure you're not fucking doing anything weird, just making sure you're not talking to some cupcake enthusiast, right? Just want to make sure you're safe because I love you. But at the same time, like I said, what do I fucking know, dude? I'm a 26-year-old man who doesn't even have a child, and honestly, I hate children. But that drives me into my other point that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about how like I said, I could never imagine having a family and then thinking to myself, I need to put this on a big screen for everyone to see, right? Like I want people to see my wife. I want people to see my child. I want my child raised alongside these weirdos on the internet who could be having their dicks out as I show my child and really being fucking grotesque and creepy. I just want that. Like it's just a weird thing. And again, people can easily use the joke of, "Oh, you couldn't have a child if you wanted to," and it's like, you're right. I've already said that, so your insult means nothing. Who am I talking to? The invisible boogeyman that I made up. Because actually, I don't think it's the invisible boogeyman. I think it's just me because I'm the one that insults me. I'm the critic of myself. Like 1 second I say, "Hey, fuck you," the next minute, "Fuck me." That made no sense. My point being is that children on the internet is not a great idea, but it's inevitable. It's inevitable because parents will let the internet raise their children. And the thing is, like I said, I talked about how I was a child on the internet. I wasn't raised by the internet, not in the slightest. Hell, I was not fucking raised at all because I was raised by a fucking gorilla that liked to fucking beat my ass and pull my pants down. And then when I was done being raised by her, I was raised by sadness. Hell, I don't even know when I got my first phone. Actually, I had a razor. I had a razor. I remember I had a razor, and I think I could play Snake on it, or maybe that was my phone before it. I don't remember. But I had a razor, and it didn't do internet. It was literally just a phone. So yeah, I am old, but yeah, I wasn't raised by the internet. But as the years went on, as I became an adult, I got more involved with the internet solely because I had nowhere to go and I'm a loser. But you shouldn't, like, if your child gets to an age where they want to be on the internet, that's fine, but they definitely should not be on the internet nonstop. At least wait for them to turn 18 before they decide to throw their life away by just spending it all on the internet. Because at that point, then it's like, okay, not my responsibility, don't care, fuck off. Obviously, that's not how a parent thinks. A parent cares about their child, even when they're an adult. But, or at least they should. But what do I fucking know? Like, man, like I can only imagine. Like, I would feel bad if I was dating a woman and then she just like she never told me anything about like her view on children, and then like I'm just like talking to my like wife, a future wife, which I'll never have a future wife, sadly. But like I'm talking to my future wife, and uh I don't know. Am I gonna use like a weird picture for this fucking conversation? But like I have like a wife, and she's lovely, right? and then she like never talks about this kind of thing, and I'm just like, oh man, I sure am enjoying sitting here being me. And she's like, honey, I was thinking that we do you do you think that maybe we could have a child? I mean, I don't really know how the fuck would someone ask that? Like, how do you ask that? Like, hey, come in me. Like, but like for real though, like how the fuck do you ask like hey, would I have a baby? Like what? How the fuck do you ask that? Because like when you marry someone, you're just like you set up a romantic moment, you get down one knee and you say, "Will you marry me?" Or usually you like pull out like something like my days with you have been the happiest I've ever been. I couldn't imagine my life without you. So, will you marry me? You know, it's like all beautiful and shit or whatever, fucking whatever. Wretch. Wretch, says the fucking hopeless romantic loser. But my point is like, how the fuck do you ask? Like, what if your wife just comes to you and she's just like, I've been thinking that I would really, I really think we should have a child. I think we could be good parents if we tried or something. I don't know how they ask. And like what the fuck would I say? Just like the fact that I don't want children at all and I just fucking hate children. Here, if I edit this, I'm gonna put like a fucking visual representation of what I see when I see children. People are always like, "Oh, babies are so cute," and I just see fucking demons. I see fucking disease-ridden creatures, blobs. I see a fucking future Dark Souls boss that's gonna like fucking maul me to death in like a year. Like, my point being is it's fucking gross. I hate babies. And I hate children. I hate babies because I just think they're gross, and I hate children because they are so fucking loud. Like, shut up. Like pulling on your sleeve, like, hey, 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 as you're trying to talk to someone, and it's like, I swear to God, I'm going to throw you into a fucking dumpster full of syringes. Like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, shut up, shut up. And also, they touch you constantly, and it's like, stop it. Do not touch me. Do not get away from me. Get your slimy, snot-covered hands away from me, you fucking piece of goddamn whatever the hell you are. You fucking mass of disgusting blobular shit. I don't know what you are, but get away from me. As you can tell, I'm not a fan of children. Like, even when they get to like somewhat like understandable age where they can think for themselves, they still manage to be so fucking loud and don't understand boundaries like at all. And maybe that's just why I just don't like people who are loud, and I don't like people who break boundaries. So I'm just like, yeah, just I don't like children. But like, I just don't like children. But like, if your wife like does it, like, what the fuck? Like, how are you supposed to respond if you're someone who doesn't want children? Like, because it's like a double-edged sword, right? You have a child, it ruins your marriage. Children just ruin marriages. Or if you say no, they leave you or they cheat on you because they think like, well, damn, if you're not going to give me a baby, then I don't want to be with you because I want to have a family. And it's like, okay, well, fuck you then. I just wanted to be happy with you. I didn't want our relationship ruined by a fucking screaming blob. But I want you to be happy and I want you to have what you want. But I'm not going to fucking force myself to do something that I know that I'm physically incapable of doing, as well as be around something that I completely fucking despise solely to make you have a tiny little smile so that smile can be wiped as you never get to sleep again because you have to wake up every fucking minute of every fucking night taking care of this fucking creature. And then when you have to go back to work, you then have to pay a fucking babysitter who is going to fucking charge you out the ass and probably abuse your child because babysitters are just shitbags. It's just like you can tell I'm very pessimistic about parenthood. Maybe when I turn like 35, that'll change. I don't know. I don't want to be 35. I'm honestly, if by the time I'm 29, I'm not turning 30. I'm just gonna fucking throw myself off a bridge. I'm not doing it. Fuck that. I don't want to be 30. My point being is, if I ever have a future wife, which is physically impossible because I'm ugly, um, I'd probably just have to say no, and then she's going to leave me. But I don't know what this was. That was me just like going on a tangent about, I don't know. I hate children. But my point being is children shouldn't be raised on the internet. I've completely lost my point. I don't even know if I'm going to title this family channels. I don't know what I'm going to title this. At the end of the day, I might title this whatever the fuck. I might just title this I hate children. I might just title this help me, I am having a midlife crisis even though I'm 26, which is I'm having a quarter life crisis, okay? I'm having a quarter life crisis. I'm going to have to start dyeing my hair and buy a fucking Harley Davidson motorcycle and then get into a crash, and then they're gonna have to take the skin off my ass and put it on my face. So I mean, it's great. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So yeah, whatever.